All right, guys. So we have talked about rewriting with integers. We've talked about adding and subtracting integers on number lines. So now let's talk about solving, adding, and subtracting integers with counters, okay? So when using counters, you must use zero pairs. So zero pairs are just a positive number and a negative number that cancel each other out, okay? So they're going to cancel each other out. So if I have $1 and I spend $1, then that makes $0. So that's a zero pair. So you need to have one positive and one negative together to make a zero pair. So we're going to see what that looks like in these examples. So in example 1, we have -5 and +3. Our first job is still always to circle from the back of the 3 to the back of the 5, and then the back of the 5 to the front, and rewrite. So I have a -5 and I have a +3. So I'm just going to do order matters again. So I'm going to start with my -5. So I look at my key here and it says a negative is going to be a shaded in dot. So that's what I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw 5 shaded in dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? And then I'm going to, underneath it on the second line for my second number, I'm going to draw 3 positive dots. So you can see positives have no shading according to my key. So I'm going to draw 3 that are open. 1, 2, 3. And you can see that I lined them up, and that's so I can make my zero pairs. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to mark out this is a positive and a negative, so that's a zero pair. This is one positive and one negative, that's a zero pair, so on and so forth. So I'm going to mark those out, marking out my zero pairs. They're canceling each other out. And whatever I have left over is my solution. So again, these were negatives, so this equals -2. Okay, and that is how we solve with counters. So let's do example number 2. Example number 2 says -4 plus -7. So I'm going to start at the back of my number, back of the 7 to the front, or back of the 4, and then we're going to go back of the 4 to the front of the number. And I'm rewriting, so I have a -4. And then in my second circle, I have 2 symbols, but that's a good versus evil, and I know evil wins. So I'm going to make that a -7, all right? And I'm going to draw my counters. So in this case, my key this time says that negatives are going to be open triangles. So I'm going to draw 4 open triangles. And so I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I also have my second number is also a negative. And so I'm going to draw 7 more negative triangles. So I'm just going to keep going on my negative line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So total, I have the first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So when I count them, I count whatever, I don't have anything to cancel out, right? I don't have any zero pairs because I don't have a positive and a negative, right? I have to have one of each to cancel it out. And in this case, all I have are negatives. So because they're all negatives, I'm just going to add them together, count them up, and I can see that I have 11 and they are negative. So the solution to this problem is -11. So because they were the same, we added them together. All right, example number 3, again, starting by circling back of the 10 to the back of the 6, back of the 6 to the front, rewriting my numbers. And then I'm just going to make up positive and negative counters. So there's no key on this problem. And so you're not going to have a key. Sometimes you are other times. So when you don't, I like to just use positives and negatives. So my first number is +6. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 positives. And my second number is a negative, so I'm going to put that on the line underneath. And I have 10 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to cancel out my zero pairs and see what I have left. So what's left over? I have 4 negatives left over. So the solution for this is a -4. Example number 4, again, I always start by circling back of the 4 to the back of the 8, back of the 8 to the front, rewrite. In my second circle, I have two negatives, and we know two negatives get together, become besties, and make a plus sign. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a giant plus sign. So this is a positive 4. All right, again, I'm going to use those same positive and negative counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are negatives. My second row, I have positive 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And cancel out my 0 pairs. And what do I have left over? I have 4 negatives left over. And that is the solution for example number 4. All right, example number 5 is what you might see on STAR. So let's look at it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to label what I see and what I know. So over here I have a key. So I'm going to say all the non-shaded are going to be positives. So I'm going to label those as 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a positive 5. And then my shaded are going to be negatives. And I can see that that is a negative 3. So I'm just labeling. And then I'm going to go ahead and cross out my 0 pairs. And I'm going to say my solution should be positive 2. And again, those were positive because the open circle or the non-shaded circle were positive. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say my solution was positive 2. So it can't be A and it can't be C. So I'm going to eliminate those. And then I'm looking for a negative 3 and a positive 5. Well, I know I need to do my circles. So I'm going to go do my circles really quick on these last two. And I'm going to say, okay, this is a negative 3, and this is a positive 5, so that looks really good. This one's a positive 3, and then good versus evil, evil wins, so that's a negative 5. So D is wrong because it is backwards, right? It does not make sense because my positives and negatives are backwards. So my solution is B. And that is solving with counters. Go practice.